Hello everyone and welcome to today's IELTS speaking class. My name is Alexander and I will be going through some tips related to the IELTS speaking exam, and I'll also be providing an opportunity for live practice with those who have joined us within the class. So a warm welcome to those who are joining us. We are on at a slightly earlier time this week, so it's great to see that we have got some students joining us in the class today who have adapted to our new schedule. We are now, of course, on in Europe, and specifically where I am in the UK, and we are making the class a little bit earlier as well, just to fit a little bit better with all the things that we are offering at Swoosh and Connetics. So I can see that Jennifer has joined us in the class. So let me bring Jennifer in and find out all the new things that have been happening with Connetics. Hi there, Jennifer.
Hello, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. I'm doing all right, thanks. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I got the time wrong a little bit. My apologies. I thought I had another 2 hours or something.
Yes, we have adjusted a little bit time-wise.
Okay, that's good. That's good. All right. Well, we're here. How are you?
Yes, doing all right. Doing all right.
Okay.
It's a bit cold, a bit blistery, but yeah, we're good.
Yeah. Well, it's not really. We just hit fall, so it is a little cooler here. I'm feeling a little cooler in the weather. So we're glad for it because it's been so hot here. So it's good. Okay. I'm going to turn you down on Facebook. Okay. Well, my name is Jennifer Olchenbruns. I'm the IELTS support specialist here at Connetics, and I am just going to take up a few minutes of your time to give you a little intro on what we do here, my role here, I guess, and Connetics USA. So once you to achieve your American dream, you're going to enroll in your Swoosh English, and you'll meet Alex and all the other great professors who are going to teach you how to speak English much better than me. I was caught off guard and not ready. I was kind of in the middle of something when I saw your link, and I was like, oh, I guess we're on. Okay. All right. So we have a few announcements going on here. We've moved our group to Telegram. We were in WhatsApp, and we've exceeded that little group. Now we've moved to Telegram, which is kind of exciting. So once you enroll, you'll be placed in there. So that's good. A lot of feedback and positive information, and then also like you get your links like for today's session and etc. So we share a lot of information in there. We've started doing a raffle. A raffle is done once a month. That is the last Friday of the month. We will pull your name. Now you have to be active for that, okay? So you need to be actually active, continue in your modules. We'd like to see you be successful with your milestone tests and your speaking buddies, and just get in there and participate, and we'll be able to know if you're really active in your review or if you're just saying you are. We want everyone to pass the first time, so that's the idea. So in the group, I've just posted last week's raffle. That was our first time and it was successful. Cherie won. That was great. So what you win is your IELTS exam paid for by Connetics USA, which is kind of exciting. So that's something to work hard for. It's a nice little incentive to pass. So we've got a lot of people that are enrolled, but we need a lot more people who need to become active. You know what I mean, Alexander?
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
And they want to take advantage of these opportunities that exist, yeah?
Yes, definitely. And then we've also got, I'm going to bring up the referral. We've got the referral still continuing. That's $1,000 referral. So you refer a friend or a family member. They need to have already passed their NCLEX. And there's more details on that on our website, on the Connetics USA website. Feel free to go there and check that out. You're also going to see more details in the Facebook group about that. So feel free to go to our Facebook Connetics USA group. check that out. But that's kind of exciting. So you refer someone, you win $1,000, and you bring that over here to the USA. And I always say, shop, shop till you drop. That's what we do here. So, and now we've got Thanksgiving coming up. That's also exciting. Black Friday. That's a huge deal for the U.S. Black Friday is the day after Thanksgiving. People shop, 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 and spend and buy for themselves and for Christmas. And good way to spend your $1,000 referral bonus, right?
Yeah, and the money that you save on the IELTS test if you win the raffle as well.
And that too. That's great. That's great. What am I leaving out? I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Nothing that I can think of.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. Well, this is good. Is this the new time on Friday now?
Yes. This is the time we're going for now. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. I wasn't too sure. So thanks for clearing that up. I appreciate that. I appreciate your time. Everything that Swoosh English does to make, I was updating a couple more people who passed. So 2 people, I've got 2 people just as right now I need to update in the system who has passed. So let me tell you, just in the short period of time, it's near 150. That's a big deal. I don't know if I should throw out that number. I think it's pretty safe to say it's okay, right? 150 people have passed their IELTS exam recently. That's a big deal.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was crunching some numbers yesterday and I thought, that's interesting. That's great. That's good news. So there's a lot of people in that 150 just recently, So anyway, all right. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, definitely.
And so
and those people, have they all been active in the group?
They've all been somewhat active. It's real hit and miss. Sometimes, sometimes they are, sometimes they're very active, and then sometimes they're not. And I'll just have something sent to me, Jen, I passed, So it's really good either way. But obviously, if you're more active in your review and in the group, you're going to pass the first time. We do have the others that have done the self-study. We all know self-study isn't recommended. So sometimes if you do that a few times, you'll self-study and go take the exam a few times and fail. And then we've got many like Bert I always bring up, but we've got that situation where you can study yourself for a long time, maybe even a couple of years and not pass. That's a long time to try to study to pass this exam. And then you hear about Connetics, you hear about Swoosh English, and then, you go sit for your exam and you pass. So it's kind of neat. It's a big world. I guess all of us make the pieces fit in the puzzle, to get you to pass. So that's kind of the nice thing. We all have a little piece in this puzzle for their American dream. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just good to see so many success stories.
It really is. It really is. I can't keep up with it. So it's great. And I really appreciate you having me on. I will be a little more prepared next time now that I know that we are on 2 hours earlier. Or I guess, a little earlier. So
it's also confusing with the clock changes, isn't it? But,
well, the clock change, the time change, and then we've got the time difference of where you're at and then where I'm at. So that doesn't help, but that's okay. We'll figure it out, right?
Yeah. We seem to be doing all right so far.
Yeah, definitely. We're doing something right. I will let you continue on in your class. I'm going to bring more people in the group to join you. Okay. I'm going to remind everyone. I see you're really great at always posting the link, which is very, very helpful. Thank you, Alexander.
No worries.
All right.
I don't want to be talking to myself.
I'm sorry?
I said I don't want to be talking to myself.
Oh, yeah.
The more the merrier.
They say that's the first sign of intelligence, talking to yourself.
I've heard that, actually.
Yeah, I must be pretty smart. I talk to myself all the time. All right. Well, I will. I'll let you go. I'll let you continue on with your class. I'll continue on with my morning, and it's been great hearing from you.
You too, Jennifer. Take care and have a great rest of the day. Cheers.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving forward then with our class today, it was great to hear what's been going on with Connetics and the opportunities that exist there with the raffle and the referral scheme, and also the numbers of people who are passing. So things are happening, things are moving forward. A big hello to those that have joined us in the class. I can see we've got Lucy, Vincy, Jay, Jesse, Lynette, Yana, Zen, Sina, Anne, Jeremiah, and Rex have all joined us live in the classroom. A very warm welcome to you, and also a massive welcome to those who are watching us live on Facebook and YouTube. We've got Peter, Arsen, and Rani. Welcome to all of you, and a good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are. So Peter's informed us that StreamYard is currently full, but you can join us on Facebook. Yes, absolutely. If you are joining us in StreamYard, then please do be prepared to speak if you're joining us here in StreamYard directly. If you're not really looking to speak today, you're looking more just to watch and see what's happening, then do join us on Facebook or YouTube, as all those joining us in StreamYard will potentially be called upon to speak at some point, and I'm looking forward to speaking to as many of you as possible. So today then, just before I move on to one of the tips that I'll be looking at for today, I want to just provide a quick reminder as to how those who are watching us on Facebook or YouTube could join us in terms of being directly involved here at Swoosh and Connetics with the scholarship program. And you can join us on the scholarship program by clicking on the link, which you will see scrolling at the bottom of my screen just now. If you are looking to move forward in your IELTS preparation, you're a nurse wanting to live and work in the United States, then we can provide you with the resources and the support necessary in order to achieve that objective. Just click on the link, which you can see scrolling at the bottom of the screen, and click on the option Staff Nurse in order to find out more information. You could potentially get all of this support for free. So the topic that I'll be looking at today is fluency. Fluency, of course, one of the 4 criteria when it comes to grading your speaking. And I'm going to look at let's say a simple but effective way of achieving better fluency. And the way to do this is through pausing, and pausing appropriately. So when giving a longer response, it's important that we pause effectively. Now, longer responses are given, of course, for part 2 of the exam, but there may also be some longer responses that we might give in response to part 3 or even part 1 questions. And if we are given an extended response, then we should pause. This gives the listener a chance to process our ideas, and it also demonstrates better fluency. So sometimes people think the best way to demonstrate fluency is to speak as quickly as possible and to never pause. That's not true, because if you never pause, it actually makes it harder for the listener to process the information you're providing. And that doesn't show good fluency, it shows unnatural speech. It's better to speak too quickly than it is to speak too slowly, but the best thing to do is to speak naturally, and pausing effectively will help you to achieve that. Do make sure that you are aware, of course, there is a big difference between a considered pause and language-related hesitation. If you're hesitating because you're unsure of the language, then of course that will show poorer fluency, not stronger fluency. So let's have a look at some examples then in terms of how we can use pausing. So here are 2 segments of speech. We can see they are on the same topic, they've got the same information, but pausing is used differently. So where you've got this slash, that indicates a pause. Just have a look at these 2, and I want you to imagine how these 2 segments of speech would sound if pausing were used where I've typed those slashes. And tell me which of these options you think is most fluent and most natural. Option number 1 or option number 2. So just as you're having a look at these 2 segments, I can see we've been joined by Marie and Tahir. Marie is watching from India. Hello to you, and hello to Tahir as well. Okay, so looking at these two examples then, Jeremiah and Anne are suggesting that one is more natural. Do we agree with that? Any other comments in terms of which looks like more natural and effective pausing? Jesse agrees, as does Lucy as well. Okay. So for those who are responding then, it seems like number one is more natural. And of course, yes, it is. Angela agrees. Good. Yeah, it is, isn't it? So if I were to read it out, it would sound like this. A person who helped me a lot was a colleague of mine when I worked in China. After I'd only been in the country for about 1 week, I broke my tooth. I was really concerned about it. Okay, so that's the first one. So you can see the pausing comes at the end of specific ideas. So I've got the introduction to the topic, then I pause. I then provide information in terms of how long I'd been in the country, and then I pause because I'm coming to some surprising information. Then after the surprising information, I pause again to allow the listener to process it. But if I were to say the second speech, it would sound like this. A person who helped me a lot was a colleague of mine when I worked in China. After I'd only been in the country for about 1 week, I broke my tooth. I was really concerned about it. Okay, so hopefully you can hear the difference there. The first example sounds much more natural, much more fluent, and it's pausing at logical points in the speech in order to help the listener process it. The second one, the pausing is random, and so because the pausing is random, it sounds as if I'm less fluent. And that's obviously a problem for the IELTS. We want to sound more fluent using pausing effectively, not less fluent. So here we go. Just to confirm, the first example has the natural pausing. So let's have a look at some more of the story. I want you just to have a quick read of the story, and I want you to imagine where you think pausing would be used in this case. So just have a quick read of it. And in the chat, if you could share the words after which you think there should be a pause. So after which words do you think there should be a pause? If we just look at the first bit as an example, so I might say, I was really concerned about it because I couldn't speak Chinese and hardly anyone in the city spoke English. So I'd probably pause after English. You can see there's a clue there with the full stop. A full stop in writing is generally an indication, if you're speaking, that you would pause. But where else should I pause? So a pause after English, but then after which other words? Again, let me know in the chat what you think. Okay, so Lynette would pause after dentist. Any other pauses that you would use for this segment of speech? Anne would pause after me, help me. Jesse would pause after lucky. Any other pauses? Rex also would pause after lucky. Okay, any other suggestions? Lucy after so. Okay. Good. Okay, so a few suggestions then in terms of where I might pause. Sahara also would pause after help me. So, okay, so here is how I would say this speech, and we'll just see it here with the pausing included. I was really concerned about it because I couldn't speak Chinese and hardly anyone in the city spoke English. So I was extremely lucky that a Chinese colleague was willing to help me and took me to a dentist who was able to fix my tooth. She was a very kind person and patient too. She spent hours waiting with me. Okay, so you can see there's a few pauses here. So after English, as I said initially, then I paused after help me, partly to get my breath, because what we've got here is quite a long compound sentence. And so after this, it makes sense just to sort of take a breath. And also we're providing 2 different pieces of information. She helped me. How did she help me? Took me to a dentist. Pause. Who was able to fix my tooth? This is extra information that the dentist was able to do this. And then, of course, she was a very kind person and patient too. Full stop. It makes sense to pause, doesn't it, where we would use a full stop. And yeah, the final piece of information is there after that pause. So how could we use this in terms of developing our own speaking? My tip today is record yourself and monitor your pausing. As you're listening to yourself giving responses, ask yourself the question, do you pause naturally at the end of ideas, or is your pausing more unnatural? Is it language related? Are you pausing because you can't think of the word rather than pausing to allow the listener to process information? The goal, of course, is to use pausing for processing time for the listener. That will make you sound more fluent. If you're pausing because of language-related hesitation, that's where you sound less fluent. So do monitor this, monitor your pausing, and see if you can use it to sound more fluent and more effective in your IELTS speaking. Okay, so let's do some practice together now. We will start with speaking part 2. Of course, which involves the long turn, where you should speak for between 1 to 2 minutes. So let's see who is going to start us off today. So I can see we've got some new students in the class who I'm going to try and get involved. Zen Zen, I'm going to bring you in. Hi there, Zen Zen. Are you there? Okay, I can hear something in the background, but I'm not sure if Zen Zen is available. Are you available? Okay, it doesn't seem like it. So let's see who else is in the class and ready to do some practice today. Let me bring Sina in. Hi there, Sina. Hello. You're on mute at the moment.
Hi.
Hi, that's better. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Actually, this time is really convenient for us,
Good.
so I can join.
It's a bit earlier, isn't it? A bit earlier in the day.
Yeah, but it's good for us. I can join.
Good, good, good. What time is it where you are at the moment?
Here, 5:50, because I'm ready for my night shift, so I can join before my duty.
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, Sina, so we're going to do some speaking part 2 practice. How has your speaking practice been going over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's going fine.
Brilliant.
I have been practicing with my speaking partner.
Great, great. It's always good to have a speaking partner. So yeah, I'm glad that you got that sorted. So let's have a look at the first topic then, Sina, and it is weather. So there's a lot of changes in weather that are happening at the moment. Can you see the topic clearly on your screen, Sina?
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so you've got a minute to prepare, and then you should speak about the topic for between 1 to 2 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Brilliant. Okay, Sina, are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Brilliant.
I love all weather, but among this, my favorite weather is cold weather, because I don't like heat and hot. It seems to be more exhausted. That's why I prefer cold weather. Usually, I have been living in Abu Dhabi, and we have been experiencing this weather from August to October. So, UAE is a hot country. So, during summer season, we couldn't go outside. It's extremely heat outside. So, in this time, we can walk outside even in the middle of the day. Additionally, the climate looks pleasant. We can go anywhere with our family, especially during evening time. And we usually have had a whale of a time with our friends, and we usually enjoy moving out with our family, and we have bonfire. We usually enjoy some different kinds of food items in this type of climates. Um, Additionally, we have longer nights, so I can sleep for a long time without the effect of sweating, and I can enjoy a lot. And usually in this climate, we prefer to visit different parts of the country. We have seen a lot of tourists in this time, so that's why I prefer cold weather than hot weather. Um, I think I'm really enjoying. We usually waiting for this climate to reach. When I compare with the hot climate, it's really exhausted and extremely. We had some kind of health issues. However, during cold weather, we can expect some health problems like cold and flu-like symptoms. But even though I prefer cold climates than the hot, so this is the weather I really enjoy. I really love to I'm really waiting for to reach every year.
Okay, thank you, Sina. Very nice. So, one of the people that prefers cold weather to hot weather, I think you're in the minority there, but I do understand it if you're living in a very hot climate. So yeah, nice. Some nice language you were using in response to the question. Some variety in tenses as well. So present perfect, continuous. You talked about the weather we have been experiencing. There was some good language to organize your speech as well. So especially to focus on a particular idea, additionally to add extra information. Also, there was some idiomatic language I noticed that you used there. You were saying you've been having a whale of a time. So that was used in a nice manner. I thought towards the end you were struggling a little bit just to add new ideas. So I thought maybe you could have extended a bit more on things that you like doing during the cold. So I know you mentioned some things, but maybe you could add a little bit more. So maybe, I don't know, when it's colder, it's easier to go for a walk, perhaps, or, you know, maybe it's when it's colder weather, you could spend time doing different types of sport. Maybe it's too hot to play sport in the summer, just as an example. But yeah, that might have been an area where you could have extended a little bit. Yeah, you're able to keep speaking for the 2 minutes, so that was good. Just a few slips in terms of grammar. So you said it was exhausted when it's hot. It should be exhausting. So a situation you would use ing form, and for your feeling you would say I'm exhausted, but the weather is exhausting. Yeah. So just slip there. And also you said it's extremely heat. So heat is the noun. It's extremely hot. You can talk about the extreme heat, but yeah, you would say extremely hot. So just the difference here. Heat is the noun, hot the adjective, and also just a little bit of repetition. So usually was a word you used a few times, and you know, obviously there's no problem with using the word usually, but just as a bit of variety. So we could say, you know, quite often, more often than not. It was a few weeks ago I was looking at some different adverbial expressions that we could use. So we could use a bit of variety there, perhaps, as well, just to show a bit of variety with vocabulary. But yeah, lots of strengths there. I do think, so I mentioned the pausing at the beginning. I do think the pausing could be used as well here, Sina, after ideas as well, just again, for processing of the listener. So when you come towards the end of one idea, so you're talking, for example, about the weather, you're saying, you know, it's really exhausting and I'm sweating at night and it makes it difficult to sleep. So when the weather is colder, that's much better. Pause. What I like to do in colder weather is, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, something just to reflect on. You're doing your sort of speaking practice with your speaking partner. That could be something to look at there as well. But yeah, but a lot of positive things, Sina. as I say, particularly variety and organization of speech. So yeah, it's good to hear that you're making progress and you're still focusing on improving in your speaking. So well done.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, cheers, Sina. Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's move on. Let's have a look at a new topic. Just before I do bring up that new topic, let me bring in another student. So I can see we've got Lynette. Let me bring Lynette into the class. Hi there, Lynette.
Hello,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Brilliant, brilliant. Are you new to the class?
Yes, I
Lynette?
am.
I thought that was an unfamiliar name in terms
Yeah.
of the people joining us in the class. So a very warm welcome to you. Where are you at the moment?
I'm in Germany right now.
Oh, wow, in
Yeah.
Germany. So
hmm
how long have you been in Germany for?
Since 2018, so around 3 years.
Okay. And how's your German?
It's quite good. Yeah, I could say because I need to
Con-
use it on my job.
Congratulations. So
Thanks.
German, English, what else?
Yeah,
What other
and
languages do
my
you speak?
a little bit of Arabic because I did work on Saudi Arabia and my own language.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So
And-
you're a veritable polyglot, we can say.
okay.
Yeah. Polyglot just means you speak lots of languages.
Mhm.
Wonderful. Okay, Lynette. So we're going to move on to a new topic. We're going to stick with part 2. Are you familiar with the part 2 of the IELTS?
Yes. But I
Good,
need to
good.
speak for 2 minutes and I have 1 minute to prepare my notes.
Exactly that.
Mhm.
Exactly that. So here is the topic. Can you see that on your screen?
Yeah, so I need to squint a little bit. Who this person? Okay. Okay.
Yep. Okay, so your minute preparation time begins now. Okay, Lynette, are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Okay.
We will see. Okay.
So
Okay.
please describe a person who solved a problem in an intelligent way.
Okay, so in our everyday life, we tend to solve different problems. And this time, I would like to share with you how this store solve a problem in a clever way. So in a time of COVID, we all the stores need to be closed because of the requirements that they are not allowed to accept customers. So because of the stores being closed, they don't have revenue. They don't. That means they don't have customers to buy their food. So this restaurant is the one that I really like the most, and they are the first one to like open a hole in their wall so that the customers don't need to go inside the restaurant, but they only have to go to like go to this hole or to this window or counter to get their food. I thought that this is a intelligent way or clever way to do it because they are the first one to be able to think of this idea. And because of it, even though their restaurants are closed, they just need to give the customer their food in this counter. So not only that they have it's the way to have money or to still run their business, but also they are like serving their customers. I think like solving a problem in a clever way is one of a characteristics of being a businessman. Because if even like you need this to run your business. Uh,
Okay. No,
sorry.
thank you, Lynette. We were almost there. We were almost there. Don't worry. Don't
Really?
worry. Yeah, literally
I run
1
out
minute
of
52.
things to say.
um, yeah, no, you did a good job there. So you explained the situation nice and clearly. You were using a variety of vocabulary to do it as well. So referring to obviously the lost revenue was a nice term you were using. The counter to describe obviously where it was being served. At first you said whole, and I was a little bit
Yeah, I know.
confused.
Okay.
But then when you
How to
said like
describe that one?
a window, yeah,
Yeah.
window counter, that was much more appropriate. So nice organization as well. So because of providing reasons, even though to provide a contrast, not only but also, so this was good language you were using to structure your speech. And I also thought you used pausing effectively as well. So you were kind of coming to the end of a topic, you would pause a little bit and then move on to the next topic. So that was good in terms of allowing the listener to process that information. Yeah, just be a little bit careful though in terms of some paraphrasing. So I mentioned like whole, but then counter was better. But also you started talking about a store and then a restaurant. So
Yeah, I know.
yeah, just be careful because yeah, it could be a bit confusing. And also just with tenses. So you said they are the first
Yes.
one to think of the idea, but obviously it happened in the past, so they
They
were
were. Yeah.
exactly. So that was it really. Just yeah, just in terms of using tenses and just some of the paraphrasing as well in terms of clarity. The fluency was good. It's really strong. In terms of pronunciation, you were very accurate as well. I think the only thing that we could do to improve there potentially is maybe just a little bit more intonation. So if you're really impressed by something, I thought that was really intelligent. Maybe just a little bit more kind of variety. But you're very accurate in terms of stress. And perfectly intelligible as well. So yeah, lots of strong stuff there, Lynette.
Yes.
So
Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
you're very welcome,
Thanks.
Lynette. Take care. Okay, so we're going to move on, of course, to do some more practice. Just before we do, for those that have joined the class in the last few minutes, let me just make you aware that if you do want to participate directly in the class, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, you can do so by joining us at the IELTS Scholarship Program. So here it is. Just bring up a bit of information on that here. We exist in order to give you the preparation and guidance to achieve your American dream. So if you are a nurse who is looking to live and work in the United States, then join us today and we can provide you with the guidance to do that. Just click on the link, which you can see scrolling at the bottom of the screen, and click on the option Staff Nurse in order to find out more information about this opportunity. So let's see who else we've got in the class and who we could do some practice with. I'm going to bring Rex into the class. Hi there, Rex.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
Good, good. Glad to hear it. So Rex, we're looking at part 2. And the part 2 topic that I would like to look at with you now is on politeness. So what are your thoughts on politeness? Would you describe yourself as a polite person? Oh, are you there, Rex?
Yes.
So would you describe yourself as a polite person?
Yes, definitely.
You would? Good, okay. So can you see the topic on your screen?
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay, so you've got a minute to prepare then, Rex, and then you should speak for 1 to 2 minutes on the topic. Okay, Jeremiah, you ready to begin?
Yes.
Okay, so please describe a time you were polite to someone you didn't like.
Yes. As a nurse, it's part of our job to take care of patients, and it's a common thing that we encounter difficult patients, as we say. Uh, During one of my duties, as I can remember, there was a patient that is irate, and he's always uh, using the call bell to call, and uh, I got a little bit irritated because of what is happening, because he's interfering with my job, with the things that are not like urgent and important. Uh, that's the thing that made me uncomfortable, because of, I want to finish my work in a timely manner, and also want to give equal attention with my other patient. I'm being respectful and polite to him, because it's part of our job. As a nurse, we should take care of our patient. We should establish rapport, and they are patients, so they are uh, having some issues. Maybe they are anxious uh, and afraid of what is happening. So what I did is uh, I see to it that I extend um, my patience to that patient, and try to understand uh, why this behavior is like occurring, or why this behavior is uh, being repeated by him. And through experience also, you will able uh, to understand more, uh, because as a
Okay,
nurse
thank you.
you.
Thank you, Rex. Thank you very much. Uh, yeah, so we got to the 2 minutes there. I could see that you had more that you had in the tank in order to provide for this story. But yeah, you did a good job. And I always think it's a really good idea to link these questions to your work experiences. So much of our life comes through our work experience. So I thought that was a good strategy that you did that. It gave you lots of things to talk about. So some nice structure that you use there, Rex. You started right from the beginning as a nurse, so introducing obviously your profession and providing a context for your talk. So that's a really good idea in terms of how to begin. Also, you provided a time reference near the beginning during one of my duties, was good as well. I think shifts is an alternative, sort of during one of my shifts, you could say as well, but they're synonyms. You could use either during one of my duties or during one of my shifts. Also, there was some nice use of vocabulary. So irate was a nice term to use as well. Obviously, saying the patient was very angry. Some good collocations, expressions that you're using to establish rapport, to encounter difficult patients. So yeah, there was some really good use of vocabulary in there. Just be a little bit careful. Pronunciation, sometimes I had to strain just slightly. So an example here was when you were saying job, and it sounded similar to jab. So job, jab. Yeah, just that vowel sound. And yeah, that's just one example where the vowel sounds sometimes were not distinct. So just be a little bit careful with that, because at first I had to kind of double think in order to just sort of make sure that I was following the story.
Yes.
And just a little slip in use of prepositions. So you said, I wanted to give equal attention with other patients, but give equal attention to other patients is what you would use there. Yeah, aside from that, it was strong. There were just some slips with tense. You said he gets irritated, but he was getting, or he got irritated, of course, because it's referring to the past. And there were certain moments. Most of the time, you had a nice balance to your speech, but there were certain times where you were hesitating a little bit as well, which can happen, obviously, when you're thinking of ideas. But yeah, just be aware of that. Obviously, with the hesitation, that lowers the fluency a little bit. But yeah, generally speaking, you were speaking at a natural pace, and some nice structure and some good vocabulary that you were using there as well. So good stuff, Rex.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so let's move on to part 3 now then, guys, for the next practice that we're going to do. And for part 3, the topics will be linked to the questions that you have answered in part 2, but they will be a question and answer format. So we're going to go to the topic of climate, obviously linked to weather, which we were looking at previously. And I'm going to bring in Cell to discuss this. Hi there, Cell. Are you there? No, doesn't seem like it. Okay, let's see who else is in the class who we've not practiced with yet today. Anne, let me bring Anne in. Hi, Anne, are you there? Oh yeah, I can see something. Hi. You're just on mute at the moment, Anne.
Okay, so
There you go. There you go. We can hear you now. Welcome for your first time, Anne. Which country are you in?
and at the Philippines.
Okay, very nice. So, are you familiar with the IELTS exam?
Yeah, I do.
You've done it previously?
Not yet. This will be
Okay,
the first
okay.
time.
But you're familiar with it. Okay. Well, it's great to see you in the class. And I've got some part 3 questions for you related to the climate. So the first question, Anne, in your experience, how have weather patterns changed over recent decades?
I'm sorry, Sir Alex. I'm just going to answer it, and then you're going to question me every time. Is
Yes,
that the way it is? Sorry.
that's right. That's right. For part 3, yeah. Question, answer.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Uh,
Yeah.
weather patterns usually is the change is so rampant right now because maybe because of the um, pollution, maybe, or the greenhouse effect. So if if it's cold, it's too cold. If it's hot, it's too humid, it's too hot. So it's quite unpredictable with the weather as it always changes every now and then. And usually climate change uh made a lot of people suffer from like typhoon, flash floods, um bushfire, like I have often seen in the news. Um,
Do you think...
so I'm really not
Go on. No, go on.
I'm really not so aware of that climate change until such time or until now that I have observed a lot of people getting affected by the climate change, and some lives have also been taken due to climate change.
Do you think that enough is being done to try to address climate change?
Yeah, I do. I do think that it's enough because most often or a lot of people are into promoting ways to prevent or to lessen the effect of that climate change. There are a lot of organizations have been established, a lot of news, a lot of people are into that movement for the improvement of our country or saving Mother Earth. Like as such or as an example is the Earth Day usually done every year, so most people are more of aware of what may be our contribution to help improve or to take care of our nature, of our environment.
And what measures do you think have been most effective in combating climate change?
Hello.
Hi, Anne.
Hello.
Can you
Hello,
hear
I'm
me?
sorry, I think I got cut.
That's fine. That's fine. The question I asked is, which measures do
Hello.
you think have
Are
been...
you talking, Sir Alex? Hello.
Can you hear me?
Okay. My line is a bit choppy.
Yeah?
Sorry, I can't hear you. I can't hear.
Okay. You can't hear me.
I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Don't
Alright,
worry.
that's it.
Yeah, now you can hear me?
What was the next question? I'm sorry.
So I asked you, which measures do you think have been most effective in tackling climate change? Okay, so we seem to have some connection issues. Okay, don't worry, Anne, don't worry. Your responses to those questions, whilst the connectivity was good, was very, very strong. Some really nice responses there. Really good use of vocabulary, wasn't there, in those responses? All related to the topic: pollution, greenhouse effect, weather patterns quite unpredictable, and then examples given as well: typhoon, flash floods, bushfire. So that was all very appropriate and really good use of vocabulary, good level of fluency as well, extended answers to questions, prevent, lesson. So there was some paraphrasing of speech there as well. And examples were given. So as an example, used to introduce examples. Passive voice used, talking about measures that have been established. Lives have been taken as well. So yeah, real good variety of grammar and vocabulary, good level of fluency, accurate pronunciation as well. So that was really good. The only points that I would notice there for improvement were with plural forms. So when we're giving examples of something, we would say typhoons, flash floods, bushfires. Obviously, there's more than one that's happened, so we'd use the plural in that case. But otherwise, yeah, some really, really good language use there. So that was really strong. So I hope you got that feedback there somewhere, Anne. But yeah, unfortunately, we got cut off a little bit. Okay, so we've got time to do one more topic. So let me try and bring Jeremiah in. Are you there, Jeremiah?
Hello, sir. Good
Hi.
evening. Yes.
Good evening.
Hello.
How are you today?
Hello, sir. I'm great. Thank you for asking. How are you, sir?
Brilliant. I'm doing well, thank you. I'm doing well. Okay, so we're going to move on to another part 3 topic. And the topic we're going to look at now, when it comes up, is problem solving. So going back to problem solving. So Jeremiah, in your opinion, what qualities should someone possess in order to be a good problem solver?
For me, I think a problem can be solved by a person who have this calmness and can able to analyze things in with a clear mind. In that way, they can able to process what will be the best actions and can able to control the emotion, especially that they are in the vulnerable time of their moments, so they cannot at the time they can control to act not based on the spur of the moment. So I think if you have this calmness on yourself and able to control your emotion, that will be a great or a key for to solve a certain problem.
Do you think it's possible to learn how to be a good problem solver?
Yes, by experience, and also I think when you see someone how they act in a specific way to solve things, by experience, because at every every time you experience a failure, that's the time you learn things, can able to again, if something came again as the same as before, you can able to act immediately and with a rational mind.
And how do you think children can learn to be better problem solvers?
At the young age, I think parents should encourage them to expose themselves to solve just a simple thing, like if they encounter problems with their schoolworks, let them to make their own solution. And by doing that, I think their self-esteem to solve or to face a problem in their life flourish or grow. I think it's a best way to encourage children to be independent also.
In what ways can problem solving be useful in a person's personal life?
Because for me, it's really vital to know how to solve problem, because it's a part and parcel of our lives. So to be able to overcome all those things, that's the one critical skills that a person should possess. For instance, in everyday life, we need to encounter struggles and we need to solve it on our own. if we possess already the skills and the knowledge on how to solve things, I think it will become a way for us to grow and become a well-rounded person.
Okay, thank you very much there, Jeremiah.
I don't know. I don't know.
You had a lot of ideas in relation to problem solving, so it was good. It was good to hear them. I liked your suggestions for the first response. So a clear mind. You're talking about process information, control their emotion. So some nice expressions you were using there. Not doing things on the spur of the moment. That was a nice expression that you used. Also, another nice expression you used as well, you were talking about things being part and parcel of our lives. That's a nice natural expression. You said vital. Yeah, it's really vital. So a less common vocabulary item there. So yeah, some really good use of vocabulary in your response. And your fluency is strong as well. I did think, just going back to what I was saying at the beginning of the class, I thought maybe we could have paused a little bit more just between ideas, because you've got quite a fast pace in your speech. Yeah. but yeah, but what you were saying was clear and very much intelligible. There was just one word that was slightly unclear, and that was a word vulnerable.
Yes, vulnerable. My God, I have a problem with R. Vulnerable. Again, sir.
So
How
there's
can I?
there's two pronunciations: vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
Yeah, vulnerable or vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
Yeah.
I will practice that one.
Yeah. So I think the one you were saying is close to vulnerable. Vulnerable.
Yes, vulnerable. Yes.
Yours,
I think
yeah,
so.
yeah. Good. But apart from that, yeah, all the words you're pronouncing were very accurate. Just a slight slip in grammar. You talked about school works, but work is uncountable, so we wouldn't use the plural form. Yeah, we just say school work. And you were talking about children as well. It's important to let them to, rather than let them to, allow them to. If you're going to say let, you don't use to. Yeah, let them plus objects, but allow them to plus objects. Yeah. So just slight slips there. And yeah, and also with prepositions, you said the knowledge on how to solve things, the knowledge of. Yeah, give them the knowledge of how to do something. Yeah, exactly. But I like the way you ended it. You talked about a well-rounded person was a nice expression to use at the end there as well. So yeah, some really good stuff there, Jeremiah. Some nice extension on the topic, and you seemed very confident and comfortable giving your responses to these questions. So well done.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, good. So thank you to all of you who have participated today. A very warm welcome to those who have joined us on YouTube and Facebook. I can see some have joined us a bit later on in the class. So hello to Adri, Devine, Pachu, Fung as well. I hope you found the class useful. For those who joined us directly in the class, who I wasn't able to bring in to do practice with today, you will be on the priority list for next week. So I hope to see you next week and we can do some more practice there. Just before we do finish today, let me just make you aware once more of the opportunity of joining us on the scholarship program. And you can do that by clicking on the link, which you can see at the bottom of my screen, just here. And this is for those who wish to work in the United States as a nurse. If you wish to have the opportunity to live and work in the US, then do click on the link to find out how we could support you in achieving those goals at Connetics and Swoosh English. You could potentially receive all the support in order to achieve this for free. So thank you once again, and I will see you next week for some more IELTS practice. Remember the new time that we are on. Until then, have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon.